All right, the activity we're going to do today, you should save your file either on the V drive or if you have your own memory card you want to store it on. And then at the end of class, upload it to MU Online so that you get the attendance and participation credit. And the place that you should upload it to is just on the main course web page. At the bottom of the list, there's one that's called 2/7. So that's how I'm going to know that you were here today and keeping busy and working through the activity. You don't have to finish it all the way. Some people, I'm sure, may get through it really quickly. Others may take more time than we've got available today to finish this activity, and that's fine. But just upload what you've got at the end of our class time, and then I'll give you full credit for attendance. All right, so the next homework assignment, homework 3, that's due on Thursday, and I wanted to point out something on that. So I'm going to go to the homework assignments, and I'll pull up homework assignment 3. So here's the assignment description, and this first problem you're supposed to turn in on paper, but it's like a scanned version of the paper. So you do it by hand, and then you scan what you've done by hand, either using a flatbed scanner or taking a picture and turning that into a PDF. And so I wanted to point out that this first problem, you're not supposed to use Excel at all. Like, it's just strictly like you, the paper, and your pencil, writing it down. So it's trying to translate the numbers in the cell with the cell references and figuring out what happens when you enter a formula into one cell. So all of these are formulas that, in theory, you're going to be typing into C10. And then it says, what happens if you drag that down into E12? Okay, so that's what I wanted to emphasize to you is this is not an Excel problem. It's about Excel, but you're not supposed to use Excel to solve it. Any questions about that? Yes? No, you don't. Other questions? All right. All right, so, and once you have that ready to upload, the place that you do it is just click here on homework 3, and then it gives you the option to browse my computer to upload and attach the files. Yes?
Do you want us to make a cover sheet, scan that, and upload it?
In this case, no cover sheet's needed because I'll know whose papers go with which student. It comes up in the system automatically with your name. So thanks for asking that question. In this case, since you're submitting it electronically, I don't need a cover sheet.
So do you want us to still put like problem statement, or do you just want to?
Let's see. Let's take a look at the problem statement and see if that would be worth rewriting. No, I don't think there would be any value in you recopying all of this. So what I'd suggest is you type in, you have in one row what the formula is, and then maybe you'd write what you'd get as the result in C10, and then how the formula would change when you drag that formula from C10 into E12. So tell me the original formula, the original numbers, the modified formula, the modified numbers, and the answer. So this is really about before and after. This question is all about anchoring and relative references. You'll notice that some of these have dollar signs. This whole question is to make sure you know what those dollar signs are doing and how to apply them in the future when you're using Excel. So again, just to summarize, write the original formula, the original numbers that correspond to that formula, and then when you drag it from one location to another, how the formula is different, and then the resulting numbers, including the answer. You know, when you add up all of the numbers together, like it's saying you should, what answer do you get once you've pasted that formula from one location to the next? All right, so that assignment should be uploaded before class on Thursday. So you've got 47 hours and 52 minutes. All right? And if you have questions on the assignment, feel free to stop by during my office hours and I'd be happy to help you out. Okay, so we have an in-class exercise for today, and let me hand that out right after I show you one thing that's a little bit tricky. And this is, I think, all of the steps in the handout are pretty self-explanatory. It's linear and step by step. But there's one thing I wanted to demonstrate just to make sure that everybody knows how to do this one. Let me dim the light so it's a little bit easier to see the screen. All right, so let's say that I have a number in here, 15,000. Sometimes when you've got numbers, it can be confusing to keep track of what the number is without the commas. And so one of the things that's here, this number thing, will allow you to format numbers so that if you wanted, you could show more decimals. I mean, showing all those decimals doesn't make this table more meaningful. All those extra zeros are kind of extraneous, and if we had a really lengthy table, it would just be taking up space. So there's no reason for us to show all those decimals. If we were talking about money, maybe it would make sense to call it currency, and then it would show the dollar sign and the commas are automatically there. Today, I ask you to format it as a number, but you have to put in the commas. And you'd be tempted to think that if you wanted to show the commas, all you'd have to do is click this comma button. And it does that, except for that now it's shifted to the right, and you can't center it. And in the table, it asks you to have both the commas and centering. And so the way that you accomplish that is you format it as a number, but click more number formats. When it's time to do this, you'll do more number formats, and it's number. We won't need any decimal places, but use the thousand separator. So now it's formatted as a number. With the thousand separator, it will let you center it. So that's just kind of a weird quirk of Excel, that if you tell it I want commas, then it assumes it's accounting, and accounting is always shifted to the right. But if you want to center the numbers, you have to format it as a number. All right, so that's enough for now. Let me hand out this Let me point something else that I'm seeing a couple of cases where here where you're writing density of concrete, the words need to be separate from the numbers. Otherwise, you can't use the numbers in a cell. So if I said 145 LB/CUFT, then all of my formulas get screwed up because it doesn't know if that's numbers or words. So I just have to have the number in one cell, and then in the next cell over is where I am typing in the units. Okay? Can I have your attention for just one moment? I want to show you another tip that may make things easier for you. I tell you in one of the steps to reduce the white space, because the columns are too wide. You can change the column widths individually, but it's easy to accidentally make them all the wrong size, like different sizes, and then your column looks kind of sloppy. So you could spend all day trying to get them the same, or highlight all of the columns that you want to change with the shift button, and then when you change one of them, it will make all of them the same column width. So maybe you haven't got to that part yet, that's fine, but just to let you know, highlight all of the columns, and then any change in column width you make will be applied to all of them at the same time.